So I'm making this video for the newbie investor who wants to learn how to make trading decisions based off of stock charts.
2000 Microsoft going in the hole. Come on.
So have you ever asked yourself, how do I buy into a stock, or how do I begin investing? Is it hard? You have to know a lot? Well, in the beginning, a lot of your stock decisions can just come off of this strategy that I'm about to share with you. So whether you're watching this and you know absolutely nothing about stocks, whether you're just not a financial buff, you can totally take this strategy and still make some relatively decent decisions. And of course, I'm not telling you what to buy. I'm just telling you what I've purchased, why I've purchased it, and also how you can use this strategy too. So the strategy that we're going to be covering is called moving averages, and it's a way to read a stock chart to know which stocks are hot to invest and which stocks opportunity may have passed. So this is something you can do simply by just opening up your phone. So if you open up the stock app in your phone, you're gonna see a list of stocks, right? You're gonna see all of these different stocks that you have in your phone. And if you don't have a list of stocks, you can begin to add some companies that you're aware of that you can follow. Now, I'm going to pull up Carnival Cruise Lines as an example of an opportunity that I see here based off of a moving average, okay? So as you can see, I like to look at the top row. You're gonna see a chart over 5 years, 2 years, 1 year, 6 months, and then 1 month. And I like to actually use all of these time periods to really look at the moving average. So I first like to start out broad at the 5-year mark. And what I'm looking for is the average price at which Carnival has been trading at prior to the dip, right? So if we look at Carnival, prior to the dip, it was trading at about $46, I would say is probably the average value per share, right? Then all of a sudden COVID hit and we noticed this huge downfall, right? And the stock goes all the way to $8. So now, because the economy is on its way, people are starting to book more travel, we notice that this stock is climbing to $27 a share. But we know that travel is not in full effect yet. Because of COVID, we are still in a place where, cruise lines are still not taking off yet. They haven't been fully open. So there's still a lot of opportunity. Once that announcement comes that Carnival and travel is open through cruise ships and it's wide open, there's gonna be a huge rush of business and travelers that are coming in, and that's gonna cause that stock price to rise up because investors are gonna see, okay, great, now that the pandemic's over, people are gonna wanna cruise, they're gonna wanna take vacations. So a lot of, investors are gonna see that opportunity, right? So let's say that it goes back to the average, okay, up to $46 a share, then that would be about an 80 to 90% ROI on the investment here, which would be really great. So when I'm looking at an opportunity, I'm also looking at its competitors. And what I noticed is I see that Royal Caribbean, who's another cruise line, their average was right around a 111, right? If you look at the average before the crash, and look what happened to their stock. They've already been climbing almost back to their average. So Carnival is playing a little bit behind here, and I actually got in at $16 a share, so I've already almost got 100% on this stock. And a lot of people were afraid to buy it because, oh my gosh, the pandemic hit, no one's traveling. But those are a lot of times you don't want to follow the herd. You want to look at the averages and see where the potential is. So with that, now it's at $27, and I still think it's a great buying opportunity, and I'm gonna reinvest back into Carnival because I still see an opportunity to get 80 to 90% return once it gets back to its average, which we can expect to maybe see within a year or two, as long as travel opens back up with cruise lines. So I see a really big opportunity there just off of the chart alone in the moving average. Now, one of the things you can look at, of course, is the financial health. Yes, Carnival's been greatly impacted, right? But so have a lot of the restaurants, and so have a lot of the airlines, and everything is still moving up because stocks are not based off of always the numbers. It's based off of the supply and the demand. How many people want to purchase that stock? How many other people think that stock is a good investment for the future? So that's what causes the stock to rise. So I believe that there's going to be high demand the moment that cruises are open and people start booking cruises, they start sharing commercials again. There are going to be a lot of people, I think, looking at this stock saying, hey, Carnival's behind, Royal Caribbean's already, passing it, and I think it's time to get in a good position. So that's how I would make a decision to purchase Carnival, just off of the moving average, not looking at the financials, not looking at the data, just off the moving average. Now, I think American Airlines is a great opportunity based off of the moving average strategy. So if we were to look at here, you could see that before the pandemic, right, we're looking at probably an average. We're going to zone into 2 years here. Probably say that the average was probably right around $28 a share is what it was trading at. So it's almost back at its average, but if we could pull out 5 years, at its peak, it was probably around $36 average, right? So there's still a little bit of growth, right? And airlines are about to, now that they're opening up fully again, that's a whole nother boom in trend. So we could see an airline surge, even above its average, because there's going to be so many people traveling again. So I still think that there's still some opportunity in American Airlines. Maybe about 25 to 30% gains is what I would predict in the next, I would say, about 6 months to a year, which isn't bad return, right? 25 to 30% on an airline. I see that for American, just off of moving averages. So if you look at some of these other stocks, right? Like let's say we were to go to Airbnb, right? Would Airbnb, based off of moving averages, be a good investment? Well, if we were to look at the 2-year mark, look, it's at a high. There's really kind of no opportunity there unless you're expecting a move for it to go even higher. But you can see the difference between Carnival versus Airbnb is Airbnb's already kind of averaged out at its height, right? So if I were to buy Airbnb, I would use a dollar cost averaging strategy, which I share in this video, that shows you how to invest when a stock is already at its peak, because it could be volatile. It could go up, it could go down, depending on the P&L statement and the reports that come out on a quarterly reporting on the earnings. So that's how I look at these stocks. I keep it very simple. I like to look at charts. I like to see what was the average of that stock prior to it going down? What was the reason for it going down? Was it because the business is in bad shape, or is it because it just a fluke because of the economy? And is that business a booming business? Is there potential for that business to continue to do well? Are customers already in love with that business? And if I believe in the growth, then I will get a position in that stock. So hopefully this video kind of shared a quick and easy way to read a stock chart by looking at moving averages. Are there other determining factors? Yes, you can dive into financial reports. You can, look at the numbers. Yes, those are other variables, but just off of moving averages, you can make some pretty good smart decisions, like I did when I got into Ben & Jerry's. I just used the moving average chart and made over 300% return in Ben & Jerry's restaurants, right? So this is a very powerful strategy that anybody can do if you just look at the charts and look at the data, and it will tell a lot, because data tells a story. And if you can get in on the right time, you can make some great ROIs as you invest. So if this video helped, share below in the comments. I hope this was helpful, and make sure to subscribe to this channel if you're watching on YouTube. And thank you so much for watching this. This has been a passion of mine to start sharing financial tips and strategies with you, and I hope you got value in this video.